What's up, everyone? Dave the Data Dude. Today we are going to be talking about an intro to set index. We're going to be talking about how you can take your index and replace it with one of your columns, how you can set multi-indexes, and how you can navigate through a multi-index data frame. So let's go ahead and jump into it. We're going to go ahead and import our pandas as PD. We're going to import our Pokemon CSV, and we're going to import just the first 5 rows to make sure everything looks correct. And it does. So we're going to start by just setting our index to a column within our data frame. So you'll notice here that our index is currently set at 0, 1, 2, 3, and that's just standard. It's just 0 all the way up to however long your data frame is. So we're going to say df.setIndex, and that's the function to set your index. And we're going to say type 1. So now we see that our type 1 is our index. Instead of that 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's grass, 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 fire, so forth and so on. Basically, it took the type 1 column and shifted it to our index. Now, if you have a data frame where you don't know, if you notice that this removed the column here, so if you have a data frame where you want to keep that, all you have to do is just do comma, append equals, or not append, excuse me, drop equals true or false. So now you can see that type 1 is our index, and it maintained its integrity of the data frame by staying right here as well. So you now have your type 1 as an index and your type 1 as a column. Both are super valuable should you need that. So what we're going to do now is we are going to talk about the append function. So let's pretend that type 1 for our data frame is already an index of our data frame. So if we imported it from somewhere, someone gave us some code to work on, and this data frame already had somewhere into it that type 1 was already the index. But now we need to add type 2 as our index as well. So we want a multi-index. So what we can do is we're going to say df equals. So we're going to essentially say our data frame is now going to update itself with this. And we're going to say df.setIndex type 1. Right? So now our data frame, if we just query the top 5 rows, we'll have type 1 as the index. So that's important to know for this next step. So in this next step, what we are going to do is we are going to add type 2 as another index. So we're going to have a multi-index. So index df.setIndex type 2, comma, append equals true. Right? So now we have taken our type 1 column, which was already our index, because we did that right here, right? We're just pretending that we already had a data frame that had type 1 as the index. And we are saying, oh, we also want type 2 as our index. So we want both of them. So we're appending to the index type 2. Okay? So that is how you are able to add indexes on top of indexes to make a multi-index. So we're going to go ahead and clear these out, and we're going to reset our data, right? So now our data frame equals the original CSV file, and you can see that we've gotten rid of our indexes. So if you needed to set a multi-index and you hadn't had your data already be imported with an index, you can set a multi-index in the following way. You would just say df.setIndex, and we're going to just do brackets because we want multiple of something. We want a list of something. We want type 1 and we want type 2. Okay, so this is the exact same thing that we had just done with the append. So this is just how you can, if you want to set a multi-index without your data already having an index, this is the way you would do it. You would just do your set index function, and in that you would just put brackets around your index or your columns that you want to have as your index. You can put keys. This is essentially your keys, right? Keys equal this. So that's an easy way to think about it if that helps you think about it in a certain way. So now let's go ahead and set our data frame to equal that. So that way we when we just query our data frame, you know, it's already set where the multi-index is now just a part of the data frame that we're going to be working with. So How is this super useful? Well, in this particular situation, it might not be. But what we can do is we can say, well, I only want to see the grass of a certain type of in the index, right? So how would we do that? Well, we talked about it before. We're going to do our dot location, our LOC, and we're just going to say df.index, right? Because we're now referencing the index, and we're going to say get level values. And we're going to say type 1, because that's the name of the column or name of the index we want to reference. I want to say grass. So now we have of the multi-index, the specific column, well, the specific index, type 1 equals grass, right? And in similar way, you can say type 2 equals grass, and you'll get all the type 2 that have grass in it of that index, right? So now another thing that you can do with that is you can use the index position. So if we said 0, it would show grass, right? Because that is the 0 index of the index. So I know that's kind of confusing, but just think about it like this. This is 0, this is 1, just like any any list would be. So this is 0, this is 1. In the indexes, it also has an index of index 0 and index 1. So you could type, 1 here, and it's grass again, right? Or it's referencing type 2 because this is the second position or the 1 position of the index, and it's set to grass. So just like we had before, though, when we're doing a location, we are actually able to write multi-arguments to be very specific about the data we wish to reference. So if we come in here and just do our .loc and put it in parentheses, representing our first argument, we can do an and sign, and then another set of parentheses to show another argument. We're going to say df.index.get level values, and this time we're just going to say type 2 so that you can kind of see that you can use these interchangeably depending on however you want to do it. And we're going to say this equal to poison. And you can see now that our type 1 grass and our type 2 poison. So the takeaway is df.index.get levels values, get level values 0. df index get level values type 2 equals poison, using our df set index with a multi-index. Okay? And if you ever wanted to reset your index, you didn't want to have this multi-level index anymore, you just wanted it to be a single index, or just like the 0, 1, 2, 3 again, you can just do df.reset index. And your index is now set back to normal. Okay? Excuse me. Like and subscribe. Let us know if you have any questions or if there's anything that you would like to see so that we can keep bringing you quality content that you enjoy.